Alright, today we're going to be ranking all the new Pokemon and forms in Pokemon Legends Arceus. If you haven't played the game yet and you want to, well, you made a mistake clicking this video. Because we're going to be talking about all the new Pokemon and forms, like I just said, and like the title and thumbnail imply. So, I already know how we're going to be ranking these. I decided to make the tier list beforehand. So, I'm just going to set up the tier list, and I'll explain things as I go. First, we'll start with bottom tier. Well, there actually is no D tier. First we have White Stripe Basquiat in C tier. Not a bad design at all. It just annoys me in game. I think you know why if you played the game. Next up we have Enamorous Incarnate form. Very interesting that they decided to include a fourth member of the Forces of Nature alongside Tornadus, Thundurus, and Landorus. Some people might hate it. I don't. It's interesting. But it's on the lower end of the designs. At least the Incarnate form is. Well, the Therian form kind of is too, but it's higher up than this. But our last member of C tier, and the lowest end design in my opinion, a lot of you might agree with this, Origin Palkia. I don't hate it. None of these designs are bad. It's just very off-putting to take away Palkia's arms like they did. I get that Origin, Dialga, and Palkia are supposed to look like Arceus. It just doesn't really fit Palkia that well. I kind of wish it had arms. It would have looked a lot cooler with arms, and it doesn't look bad, especially when you actually see it in-game and all that. Like, this render makes it look terrible. But in-game, it's not bad at all, but still, I like every other new design better than it. But now, on to B tier. We got Ursulina starting things off. It's a pretty cool Pokemon. I don't think Ursulina needed an evolution at all. There's a certain other normal type from Gen 2 that deserved it a lot more. But, you know, I don't mind Ursulina's design at all. And next up we have Hisuian Sneasel. Definitely an unexpected thing, considering we already had Weavile as a Gen 4 Pokemon, yet they gave Sneasel a Hisuian form anyway. And alongside it evolves into a new Pokemon Sneasler, which always look better in-game than they do in their renders here, including Sneasler. Yeah, it's not bad. Bit of a missed opportunity on the type, though. Could have been like Ice Poison or something instead of Croagunk's typing. I don't know why they didn't do that. The only new typing out of all these Pokemon here is Hisuian Zoro and Zoroark, which we'll get to later. Actually, I did have Hisuian Zoro on the top of A tier, so might as well put it there now. But next up after Sneasler, we have Therian form Enamorous. That's where it is in the tier list. So it still is on the bottom half, but a lot better than Incarnate form. There's 3 more Pokemon we're putting on the B tier. First we have Hisuian Sliggoo. Do I really like this less than Enamorous? This isn't... I like all the Pokemon in B tier about the same, I'd say. This is just the order I decided to put them in. And next up we got Hisuian Lilligant. Really held back by this typing. I wish it was a more unique typing than the same typing as Hisuian Decidueye. Literally the exact same. I don't know why they did that. Kind of annoying. That's what holds it back. And what holds Avalugg back is its horrible defensive typing. That alongside its slowness means it'll basically never win a battle. Especially since slow Pokemon typically do terrible in Legends Arceus, thanks to the new battle system. But yeah, that's it for B tier. Next up we got A tier, which we already started off with Zorua. Next up we got Weirdeer. Looks like there was a normal type Pokemon from Gen 2 that got an evolution when it actually deserved it. Yeah, Stantler desperately needed an evolution. Not as much as Dunsparce. Unlike Dunsparce, Stantler actually got one, and Weirdeer's a pretty cool Pokemon. Good ride Pokemon as well. I'd say Weirdeer... Well, my top 3 ride Pokemon in that game are Weirdeer, Basquiat Legion, and Braviary. They're pretty much all I use. I almost never use Ursulina, because I'm not really a fan of item fighting mechanics in Pokemon. And then there's Sneasel, which I'll still use sometimes, but I'll when I can, I'll try to use other Pokemon instead. Sneasel is still pretty cool though. I just like the other 3 ride Pokemon more. But I do like Sneasel more than Ursulina, in terms of ride Pokemon at least. But next up for A tier, we got Samurott. Pretty cool design. It doesn't change too much from regular Samurott though, which is what holds it back from being S tier. Next up we got Cleaver. Another, alongside Ursulina and Sneasel, an unnecessary but cool evolution. Yeah, Cleaver's pretty cool. And next up we got Hisuian Growlithe. And then after that we got Hisuian Voltorb. I think you know why these are on A tier. They're pretty good Hisuian forms. The timing for Hisuian Voltorb Electrode is pretty unique, only shared by Rotom's Lawnmower form. So the first non-transformation Pokemon to have it. Still not brand new like Zoroark's typing though. But next up we got Origin Dialga. Yeah, some of you might have expected this to be down bottom tier with Palkia, but no, Origin Dialga's design actually isn't that bad if you see it in game. It looks a lot better in game than this render would have you think. Yeah. In terms of all 3 Origin forms, Giratina is still the best one, obviously, but that was introduced way back in Platinum, so it's not on this tier list. But yeah, Origin Dialga, not bad at all. That's why it's A tier. Next up we got Female Basquiat Legion. Not as good as Male Basquiat Legion in my opinion. But still not bad. I mean, it's Basquiat Legion. And last but not least, well actually, yeah, it kind of is, for A tier, is Hisuian Electrode. Not a bad design, and the boss fight against it was cool as well. Same with Avalugg and Lilligant. And Cleaver, by the way. So yeah, the 5 boss fights were Cleaver, then Lilligant, then Arcanine, which we'll get to later, is in S tier. Spoiler alert, all these are in S tier, but you'll see what order they're in. So yeah, it's Cleaver, then Lilligant, then Arcanine, then Electro, then Avalugg. And they're all pretty good boss fights. I like the boss fights in this game, and they all, at least for me, each one is more difficult than the last, so the difficulty of this game is balanced pretty well. I feel like I mentioned that here. And next up, we're actually going to do S tier in reverse order, because it's going from, in quotes, worst to best. Obviously not worst. None of these are bad. I mean, they're in S tier. But first up, we got Basquiat Legion. Really good Pokemon. I'm glad Basculin got some recognition in this game. I know I put White Stripe Basculin way down here, which is only there because it annoys me in game. But yeah, I'm glad that Basquiat Legion got some recognition in this game. It doesn't evolve from Red and Blue Stripe Basculin though, so they still don't get an evolution, but this new Basculin does. And yeah, this one is the male variant and this one's female. They look different based on gender. I don't know why they didn't show the female version in trailers, only the male one. I mean, I know that's the only one you ride. You don't ride a female Basquiat Legion, but still. They didn't show both forms when I feel like usually they would do something like that. They were pretty secretive with the Pokemon they revealed in this game. But yeah, next up we got Hisuian Quillfish. After playing Pokemon Colosseum, Quillfish became one of my favorite Gen 2 Pokemon, so to see it get a new form and evolution in this game was just amazing. And I really like this evolution line. Dark Poison's a cool typing as well. Not particularly unique. I think there's 2 other Pokemon in Gen 4 that have it, like Drapion, and then... Was there another one? I don't remember. It's off the top of my head. But there was definitely Drapion. Oh yeah, Skuntank was the other one. There were 2. So yeah, I share with 2 other Gen 4 Pokemon, but still, it's a cool typing, only weak to ground. Can't go wrong with that. I wish it got better coverage, though. It doesn't get any physical dark moves, as far as I know. So it's either Dark Pulse or nothing when it's a physical attacker. But next up, we got Hisuian Arcanine. My favorite design out of all the 5 noble Pokemon. And next up we got Hisuian Zoroark. One of the best Hisuian forms for sure. Like, we are in... Once we get past Zoroark, we're in top 5, as you can see. But yeah, definitely a cool design here. I recently got a shiny for Hisuian Zoroark as well. And Overquill. And Hisuian Braviary. And all three of them have really good shinies. Speaking of Hisuian Braviary, that's next up on the list. I really wish Hisuian Braviary with the right Pokemon controlled better. Like, you can't ascend at all except when you first go on Braviary. I thought you could like actually fly, but no, it's more like gliding. But that disappointment aside, Hisuian Braviary is still a cool Pokemon. And I used it on my main team as well. Along with Typhlosion, Overquill, and Goodra. And then the other two slots kind of swapped around throughout. Like in post-game, I used the other two starters. But before then, I would swap around between like Electrode, Avalugg, Lilligant, Weirdear, Cleaver. Yeah, I tried to use as many new Pokemon as possible. I didn't have a full definitive team of 6 until post-game, though. Where I had all 3 starters in it, and the next 2 slots are the other 2 starters, Decidueye and Typhlosion. Yeah. I like the new starter designs. Some people don't, from what I've heard, but I do. And it's still really cool that Typhlosion got a new form. First Raichu back in Sun and Moon, now Typhlosion here. Game Freak's just been giving my favorite Pokemon new forms, well, including Qwilfish. So yeah. And next up we have Goodra. You know, back in the day I used to hate Goodra. Like, for some reason, back in 2016 or whatever, I put it in my least favorite Pokemon list. I do not have even close to that same opinion now. Goodra's not a bad Pokemon in the least. I don't know why I did that. But I never used Goodra before. But then when Goodra got Hisuian form here, Dragon Steel type, which is a cool typing, I decided to actually use it. So I used Goodra for the first time in Legends Arceus. I still wish I got better steel coverage though. It's in a similar situation to Qwilfish. It does get one special steel type attack, but that's Steel Beam, which does half your damage in recoil. It doesn't get Flash Cannon for some reason, at least as far as I know, which is kind of dumb. But still a good Pokemon all the same. Can't go wrong with a tank like Goodra. But the top of S tier for me is Overquill. Yeah. I wonder how different this would have been if I never started to like Qwilfish in Pokemon Coliseum. But yeah, I put Overquill up here. At a glance, it probably looks a bit ridiculous with all those spikes, but as a Qwilfish fan, I really like it. This kind of means regular Qwilfish don't get a new evolution, but Overquill's still cool all the same. And like I said earlier, I have a shiny of it as well. Same with Braviary and Zoroark. I want to eventually get all of these shiny. Which you can't get an Enamorous shiny because it's shiny locked, but theoretically I could get the rest. Well, not Dialga Palkia either, unless you can transfer them in. But yeah, I want to eventually get them all shiny. And so far I have 3 of them. Yeah, I've kind of been shiny hunting in the game, which I've never really done before, aside from when I shiny hunted for Roggenrola in Pokemon Moon. Because I like shiny Gigglet that much. And now it's just a lot more engaging to get shinies in this game than any other, which is why I've decided to shiny hunt in this one. But yeah, overall, these are some pretty good designs. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll see you all for my next tier list, which will be an updated tier list of the main series games. So yeah, I'll see you guys then.